the very dynamics at work in Israel-Palestine are also at work in cities across the United States. Apartheid conditions, open-air prisons, and we need to do something about it. We need to change. I finally figured out why Americans can't talk about the Palestine situation in an even-handed way. Of course, the apparent answer, the immediate answer, is that it's because America is a colonizing power as well. And as colonizers, they need to back up colonizers. But the less apparent answer is that the very dynamics at work in Israel-Palestine are also at work in cities across the United States. You heard me right. Apartheid conditions, open-air prisons in every major urban area in the country. Right now, I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the most segregated city in the country. Poverty rates for children topping 40%. These are conditions that exist in every city across this country. They're magnified here, but it's not that different elsewhere. Detroit, Chicago, New York City, Phoenix, LA, Austin, all over the place. Not only do you see people living in tent cities, but in every place that you go, there are these little areas, Hispanic, Black, ghettos. It's what we called it growing up. You lived in the ghetto. And I wonder why we've tried to distance ourselves from this fact in our head, because we don't want to engage with it. But all these things, there aren't fences. There aren't material fences. But there are psychological fences. In Milwaukee, one of the major things is that young Black children who grow up in the central city, in the inner city, some of them haven't even traveled the less than 10 miles to the lakefront, haven't ever seen Lake Michigan or been on its beaches. You can tell the difference when you walk or roll through these neighborhoods, because they're littered with trash. And people say, oh, well, they don't care about where they live. They don't have any ownership of where they live. And then, of course, we have to talk about crime. Crime is the same effect that we see manifest in the terror of Hamas. It's the backlash, the lashing out of an abused and oppressed populace. And then, of course, they're demonized. There are limited opportunities provided, oftentimes based on the color of skin. We look at ourselves and we think that we are so much better because we have a quote-unquote free society. Well, it's only been 60 years since the Civil Rights Movement. 60 years since whites and coloreds only bathrooms and pools and drinking fountains. And while we've come a long way, I also think we like to think that we've come farther than we have. The reality is that the oppressive economic conditions across America for whoever is deemed to be a second-class citizen are ridiculous, are absurd, are contrary to every right that people have as individuals, that is intrinsic to our soul and our spirit as members of humanity. And we need to do something about it. We need to change before something comes along that changes us. If you liked what you heard, like, subscribe, come on.